This offering is in two parts. First, a little preface for our assembled devotees. Before offering to Srila Prabhupada, I offer this preface to you. Sitting here, every one of us is now sitting here on the strength of the travels, travails, and mercy of the pure Brijavasi, our Jagat Guru Srila A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. We follow in the footsteps of this very Brijavasi. Therefore, we must always take care to represent the way Srila Prabhupada wanted to represent and present our ISKCON in a chaste way. It is a temptation to think that now we're in Vrindavan and, oh, this is very nice. When in Rome, do as the Romans. When in Braj, do as the Brajavasis. And get carried away. Oh yes, this is what they do here. We do not imitate the various other residents, communities, religious organizations. Not one of the disciples greeted anyone with Radhe, Radhe, or Radhe Sham, or ended a kirtan with Jai, Jai, Shri Radhe, or Radhe Sham. He never condemned the residents of Vrindavan for this. This is what they do. Yes, this is what they do. But Prabhupada did not do that. What Prabhupada did was chant Hare Krishna, and we are obliged to follow in his footsteps. We are, after all, the Hare Krishna movement. Prabhupada's standard conclusion of kirtans was Hare Krishna or Gaura Premanandi. His response to any greeting on the road, whether it be Radhe Radhe, Shri Radhe, Ram Ram Namaste, was always Hare Krishna, with the occasional exception of good morning. In the same spirit, after 12 years of chanting Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhupada ordered us to stop bhaja because he started hearing devotees chanting Bhaja Hare Krishna. His specific reason for changing it to Jaya was because he did not want us to be lumped in with any other party or mat, that we should remain distinct. We need not forsake. Just a minute. To get the treasure he has given us, we simply have to do what he gave us as he gave us. I assure you that any one of you is thinking it is a better option to greet anyone with Radhe Radhe instead of Hare Krishna, as did Srila Prabhupada, or end a kirtan with Jai 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 Shri Radhe Sham instead of Hare Krishna or Gaura Premanandi. This is a very subtle deviation. Now we have become more intelligent than the old man. Let us remember that Prabhupada always gave us a basic set of very essential books to read first and foremost, to assimilate them and preach them to each other and to the masses. Prabhupada's books should therefore be the core of our public temple classes and preaching mood. Yes, there is much information about confidential topics, and so many glorious successions follow within the branches of this body. We may think, with the branches of the body of the Gaudiya tree, after we have completely understood the philosophy, especially realize that we are not this body, we may think about other suggested reading privately and under guidance. Prabhupada's consistent emphasis remains singularly on a delivery of a simple message as he gave it. As followers of Rupa Goswami, and confidential topics rarely referred to in Prabhupada's books tend to produce confusion. We need not forsake clarity and chastity of a simple message for the sake of apparent scholastics, digging out remote and very rarely found references. Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is so simple, you can miss it. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-Vedanta Swamin Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschachade Satarane. Or in the words of that 1960s American poet Allen Ginsberg, what intelligence and what compassion to transplant an entire Vedic civilization onto foreign soil. Srila Prabhupada, under the shade of the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada in Vrindavan, you planned out your strategy to relieve Lord Chaitanya's anxiety of how to find enough people to distribute love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya transplanted that storehouse of love within your heart, and you personally distributed those fruits of Godhead globally to most towns and villages. And whoever came into contact with those fortunate recipients contagiously were likewise impelled to distribute the fruits to other towns and villages, and infected with the same, the contagion goes on, further on and on. How it was done is inconceivable. One devotee expressed his amazement to you. We were just loitering in the street. Oh, you said, but when I called, you all came running. And oh, did we run, and still run, like a never-ending Olympic Games send-off medley relay race, passing the flaming torch to the next runner and the next runner and the next runner. You single-handedly conquered the whole world, Srila Prabhupada, which was once ruled by a single emperor, King Bharat, for which the whole planet was known as Bharatvarsha. So, in one sense, you didn't actually transplant, but rather you reawakened a very, very deeply hidden and long forgotten inner reality, closed down for thousands of years of material conditioning. Didn't you once say that eventually people will come to understand that this Krishna consciousness movement will have changed the face of the earth? And the job at hand set perpetually in motion, you return home to Vrindavan to take up your residence in your eternal resting place. And now you are the emperor of the world, managing still from Vrindavan, ruling from your capital city, your Hastinapur. You sit in command in a specially gorgeous Rajasthani, hand-carved white marble, palatial, twin bridge duplex that challenges the beauty and wonder of the eighth wonder of the world, fashioned with intense love in Vrindavan by your servants, Sarabi Palyantam Swami, Hansarupa Das, Achyuta Das, under the guidance of Gopal Krishna Goswami, the GBC, funded by hundreds of book distributors and donors worldwide. You rule the world from the sublime bastion of your samadhi, with newer and newer sentries everywhere and anywhere who find pieces of the world to distribute unlimitedly, increasing fruits of love of Godhead through music, by book distribution, going to the media, colleges and libraries, dramas, dioramas, light shows, Sunday love feasts, deity worship, grand festivals like Rath Yatra and Janmashtami, writing for adults, writing for children, opening gurukuls, farm communities, preaching centers of all varieties, namahatas, by chanting in the streets, in the temples, by Kartik pilgrimages and parikramas, by meeting people in offices to become life members, by keeping chaste, to your program of Mangal Arati, Tulsi Puja, 16 rounds of japa, Srimad Bhagavatam classes, Bhagavad-Gita classes, evening Arati, Guru Puja, VIHE intensive study groups, and offshoots, which have caught on everywhere to produce Bhakti Shastris, Bhakti Vaibhavs, and Bhakti Vedantas. Above all, preaching is the essence. It's a miracle you allowed and still allow us to participate in the great takeover of the universe. You have graciously taken your samadhi in Vrindavan, the cornerstone of the whole 14 worlds. Our devotees and busloads of pilgrims come to see you all day, every day. No one comes here to your samadhi without feeling your presence in a very practical sense. In Vrindavan, we are so fortunate to be able to sit with you, sing for you, pray to you, take refuge under very, very comforting shade of your lotus feet, design presentations to remind people of your mood and mission in your Samadhi and Samadhi Museum, and recently replacing the huge signs to remind people that the road from the highway is called Bhaktivedanta Swami Marg. We run to your Samadhi Mangal Arati every morning. We broadcast it all over the world daily. Devotees gather together from everywhere once a year or even once in 30 years because the strength of your presence is available so palpably in your Vrindavan Samadhi. You are the raison d'etre of everything in our lives. By sitting here in Samadhi, you have given us the stunning opportunity to serve your Vani and your Vapu simultaneously. You told us that your disease is that you could only think big. This is too big. We didn't fall in love with Krishna. We fell in love with you, Srila Prabhupada. And there are so many things we want to do, you want us to do, to serve you. The list is endless. We're hoping for your mercy that we live long enough to complete our service to you as you communicated with us while sitting before you in your divine resting place. If it is your pleasure, then it is our pleasure. So many instructions, so little time, so many obstacles, so many opportunities. You have offered us inconceivable mercy. I pray that I have inconceivable sincerity to take that mercy and give it to unlimited numbers of others while I serve you in your Samadhi Museum and Mandir. I pray to ever remain your servant and your daughter, Parvati Devi Dasi, on behalf of the servants of your divine Samadhi Mandir, Samadhi Museum complex. Hare Krishna.